Alright, let's talk about the Sentry in the new Thunderbolts movie and why I'm a little worried about it. I am a Sentry D-Rider to the day I die. I love him. He is the best superhero I think that Marvel has ever made when it was in the 2001 comics. Now, the reason I'm worried about it and the reason I mentioned the 2001 comics is because in the 2001 comics, the Void was never able to take over Sentry. Sentry was too damn strong for that. They kind of undermined the idea a lot after 2001. They kind of, especially during the Siege run, they made it so the Void was always kind of able to take over the Sentry, and whenever the Sentry was weak mentally, the Void kind of took over, and he was used against, Norman Osborn had to use him against everybody, eventually dying in that comic. Just felt like a very watered-down version of the Sentry. I think that 2001 comic kind of did that physical, or not, sorry, physical, but psychological kind of battle between the Sentry and the Void a lot better. With that being said, it does make sense because the Void has kind of always been attached to the Sentry, especially when the Void was attached immediately as soon as he took that Golden Sentry Serum. It makes sense why he was able to take over him, I guess. So it's not out of the park. It's not crazy to think about. It's not like an idea that doesn't make sense. It's just boring. I feel like we're just getting that he's just crazy kind of thing, and it's just oversimplifying that whole Void and Sentry kind of dynamic that they had. They also made it to where in the 2005 run in the comics where the Sentry was the one that attached himself to Robert and the Void, and when the Void or Robert took that Golden Sentry Serum, the Void was really the real persona that Robert had in him, and the Sentry was a counterpart. I don't like that. I don't like that. I preferred the version of the Sentry having just a personal boogeyman, where it was just his counterpart kind of mirrored, and it was just Robert's dark ideas and thoughts manifested. You have to remember, Robert Reynolds is a super, super messed up individual. Drug addict, he's just messed up all around. Schizophrenia, the whole 9 yards. Now, why do I mention this? I mention this because in the Thunderbolts trailers, all we've really seen has been, we've seen Robert, we've seen the Void, we've seen Sentry, but we've also seen Sentry what looks like to be pushing the Red Guardian out of the Avengers Tower, or the Watchtower now. And I'm just scared that they're going the route where the Void takes over Sentry, which again for me is boring. I think we have a lot of that in the MCU. For example, we have the Hulk taking over Bruce Banner, we have the Symbiote taking over Eddie Brock, we have the Green Goblin taking over Norman Osborn. The list goes on, you get the point. I'm just scared because they have a track history of just oversimplifying characters. Moon Knight, for example, still very mad about that. Just makes me scared. Now, I do hear that Jenkins is going to be able to make his own Sentry movie if this movie does great, and I really hope that he goes the 2001 route. I am praying for that. Now, I do have my own little theory. There's a scene in the trailer, the newest trailer that just came out, that kind of dubstep or EDM version of the trailer, I'm not sure, the A24 kind of looking version of the trailer. There's a scene in there where Robert Reynolds is with the Red Guardian, it looks like he's with Ghost, it looks like he's with Yelena in there, and Bucky punches the crap out of a chicken. Now, we see Robert Reynolds in there, which looks like to be the Void, which they're also making a Void a place, I guess. Or maybe they're inside of Robert Reynolds' mind, or I think it's the Void. I mention that because this means that he's